90 days ago, my life looked normal from the outside. I was working, scrolling, and planning big goals in my head, at the same time telling myself that one day I would become more disciplined, more focused, more confident. But inside, I felt stuck. I had ideas, but no consistency. I had motivation, but it disappeared quickly. I kept waiting for the perfect moment to change. Then I made a simple decision. For 90 days, I would test 10 small habits. Not extreme habits. Not wake up at 4 a.m. and run 10 miles type habits. Just simple things that I could actually do every single day. I didn't expect magic, but what happened surprised me. My energy changed. My thinking changed. My confidence changed. And slowly, my life changed. The first habit was waking up at the same time every day, not early. Just consistent. Before this, my sleep schedule was random. Some days I woke up at 6, other days at 9. Weekends were even worse. My brain always felt tired, so I decided to wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. The first week was hard. I felt sleepy. I wanted to snooze the alarm. But after about 10 days, something shifted. My body started adjusting. My mornings felt calm instead of rushed. I wasn't starting the day in panic mode anymore. That small consistency gave me my first win. And small wins build confidence. The second habit was making my bed immediately after waking up. It sounds childish, but I realized something powerful. When I made my bed, I completed a task in the first 2 minutes of my day. It gave my brain a signal. I finish what I start. Some mornings I didn't feel like Italiano, but I did it anyway. And that simple act slowly changed how I saw myself. I wasn't someone who avoided small responsibilities anymore. I was someone who handled them. That identity shift was more important than the habit itself. The third habit was 30 minutes of movement every day. Not intense workouts. Host movement. Walking, stretching, light exercises at home. Before this, I would sit for hours. My body felt heavy and my mind felt foggy. The hardest part was starting, especially on days when I felt lazy. But I made one rule. Even if Remita didn't feel like it, I would at least put on my shoes and step outside. Most days, once I started walking, I kept going. After 3 weeks, my energy levels were higher. I could focus longer. I felt less stressed. It wasn't just physical. It was mental clarity. That clarity helped everything else. The fourth habit was writing 1 page every day. Not perfect writing. Not content for anyone else. Just one honest page about my thoughts. Some days I wrote about my fears. Some days about random ideas. Some days about frustration. At first, it felt pointless, but after a few weeks, I started noticing patterns in my thinking. I saw how often I doubted myself. I saw how often I made excuses. Writing made my thoughts visible, and once I could see my thoughts clearly, I could change them. The fifth habit was reading 10 pages a day. Before this, I would scroll social media for hours, but say I didn't have time to read. So I made it simple. Just 10 pages. Some days, it took 15 minutes. That's it. Over 90 days, those 10 pages became multiple books. But more than the knowledge, reading improved my focus. I trained my brain to stay on one thing without checking my phone every 2 minutes. That ability to focus is rare today, and it became one of my biggest advantages. Now, here's where it started getting uncomfortable. The sixth habit was limiting social media to 30 minutes a day. This one was hard. I didn't realize how often I reached for my phone without thinking. Waiting in line. Feeling bored. Feeling stressed. Phone. Scroll. Repeat. The first week felt strange. I had empty moments. Silence. But in that silence, I started thinking deeper. I had more time, more presence. I wasn't comparing my life to everyone else all day. My mood improved. My anxiety decreased. And I realized that half of my stress was coming from information overload. When you reduce noise, your mind becomes stronger. The seventh habit was planning my next day every night. Nothing complicated. Just writing down the 3 most important tasks for tomorrow. Before this, my days felt reactive. I would wake up and let the day control me. Now, I had direction. Some days I didn't complete everything, but most days I did. And crossing off tasks gave me momentum. Instead of ending the day thinking I was busy but did nothing, I started thinking I made progress. That feeling builds self, and when you trust yourself, your confidence grows naturally. The 8th habit was drinking more water and reducing junk food. I didn't follow a strict diet. I just made small changes. More water, more simple meals, less random snacking. At first, cravings were strong, especially in the evening. But after a few weeks, my body adapted. My energy stayed stable throughout the day. No heavy crashes. No brain fog. It's hard to explain. But when your body feels clean, your mind feels disciplined. And discipline in one area spreads to other areas. BT's point around day 60. Something interesting was happening. I was not forcing these habits anymore. They were becoming normal. I didn't wake up and debate whether to write or move or read. I just did it. And that's when I realized something important. Motivation starts the journey, but identity finishes it. I was no longer trying to improve my life. I was becoming someone who naturally does disciplined things. That shift changed everything. Now I'll tell you about the unexpected emotional changes that happened after 90 days, because the biggest transformation was not external. It was internal, and that's what truly changed my life forever. By the time I reached day 60, I felt different. Not in a dramatic way. There was no huge announcement. No one around me suddenly noticed and applauded, but inside, I knew something was shifting. I felt calmer, clearer, more in control. And that gave me the energy to continue with the final 2 habits. The 9th habit was practicing gratitude every night. Before sleeping, I wrote down 3 simple things I was grateful for. Some days it was something big, like progress on a goal. Other days it was very small, like a quiet walk, a good conversation, or even just a peaceful moment alone. At first, it felt forced. My brain was used to focusing on problems. It was used to noticing what was missing, what was slow, what was unfair. Gratitude felt unnatural. But after a few weeks, something powerful happened. My brain started looking for good things during the day. I would notice simple moments more clearly because I knew I would write them down later. My mindset slowly shifted from what's wrong to what's working. That one small habit changed my emotional state more than I expected. I felt less frustrated, less jealous of other people's success, less negative about delays in my own journey. Gratitude didn't remove my problems, but it reduced the emotional weight of them. And when your emotional weight becomes lighter, you move faster in life. The 10th habit was uncomfortable but life-changing. I started doing one hard thing every single day. One thing I had been avoiding. It could be sending an email I was scared to send, making a difficult phone call, working on a project I kept delaying, having an honest conversation, even waking up when my alarm rang without snoozing. Every day, one uncomfortable action. At first, this was the hardest habit of all. My brain would try to postpone it. It would tell me, do it tomorrow. But I made a rule. If it makes me uncomfortable and I know it's important, I must do it today. The first few days were stressful. My heart would race before making certain calls. I would feel resistance before opening certain tasks. But after doing this for weeks, fear lost its power. I realized something important. Most of the things we avoid are not actually that scary. The discomfort usually lasts a few minutes. but the avoidance can last for months. By doing one hard thing daily, I started building courage like a muscle. And courage changes how you walk into rooms, how you talk, how you think. Around day 75, I noticed something else. I stopped negotiating with myself. Before, my inner voice would say, maybe skip today, and I would listen. Now, my inner voice changed. It started saying, we do hard things. That's who we are. That identity shift was powerful. After 90 days, I didn't just have 10 habits. I had proof. Proof that I could commit to something and finish it. Proof that discipline is not about perfection. There were days I felt tired, days I didn't feel motivated, days I wanted to quit. But I didn't miss twice in a row. If I slipped, I corrected quickly. That rule saved me. Another unexpected change was my confidence. Not loud confidence, not showing off, but quiet confidence. I trusted myself more. When I set a goal, I believed I would work on it. When I planned something, I followed through. That trust is priceless. I also noticed my anxiety reduced. Why? Because many of my worries came from unfinished tasks and broken promises to myself. When you constantly delay things, your brain stays stressed. When you take action daily, your brain relaxes. Relationships improve too. I was more present because I wasn't always on my phone. I listened better. I reacted less emotionally because gratitude trained me to slow down. My focus improved at work. Reading daily strengthened my attention. Movement boosted my energy. Planning made my days structured. Everything started connecting. These habits were simple on their own. None of them were revolutionary. But together, they created momentum, and momentum changes lives. Let me be honest though, the biggest benefit was not money, not success, not even productivity. It was peace. For the first time in a long time, I felt aligned with myself. My actions matched my goals. My daily routine matched the person I wanted to become. That alignment creates inner peace. Before these 90 days, I used to consume motivational content every day. I kept searching for secrets. The perfect routine, the magical formula. Now I realize there is no secret. Small actions, repeated daily. Without drama. That's Italiano. People think transformation needs extreme measures, but real change is quiet. It's boring sometimes. It's consistent. If you try to change everything in 1 week, you burn out. But if you pick a few small habits and stick to them, your identity slowly upgrades. And when identity upgrades, life upgrades. If you're watching this and feeling stuck, let me say something simple. You don't need to change your whole life tomorrow. Just choose one habit from this list. Wake up consistently. Make your bed move for 30 minutes. Write 1 page. Read 10 pages. Limit social media. Plan your next day. Drink more water. Practice gratitude. Do one hard thing daily. Start with one, then add another. Give yourself 90 days, not 9 days. Not 2 weeks. 90 days. Because real change needs time. There will be boring days, days where nothing exciting happens. But that's normal. Progress is not always visible. Trust the process. At the end of my 90 days, my life didn't become perfect. I still have goals. I still have challenges. But now I feel equipped, disciplined, aware, stronger mentally. And that's a foundation no one can take away from me. So if you've been waiting for motivation, stop waiting. Build habits instead. Your future self is not created in big moments of inspiration. It is built in small daily actions. 90 days from now, you could be telling your own story. The only question is, will you start today?